Narrator: Chichen Itza, Mexico; Vijayanagara, India; and the Forbidden City in China. All across the ancient world, there are many pyramids and temples built for what ancient people called sky gods. But is it possible, as some ancient astronaut? Theorists believe that these so-called sky gods were actually another type of gray alien known as the Reptilians, Tsukalos. All across Central and South America, people worshipped this winged serpent. But it gets even more interesting, because on the other side of the world, in ancient India, we find stories of flying snakes again. They knew that snakes cannot fly. However, whatever they saw flying in the sky could best be described as a winged serpent. Coppins. Whenever people see strange creatures, they compare them to animals they know. And what this suggests is that the creature looked somewhat like humans but also had reptilian features. So when we look at modern UFO stories, especially about the greys, there may be mixing between greys and reptiles. Narrator: Some researchers believe that before choosing primates, gray aliens may have seen reptiles as the main life form on Earth, one they could use for reproduction. If so, could the greys have mixed their genes with reptile DNA to create hybrid reptilian creatures that lived alongside early humans? And could this explain the many ancient images of reptilian beings? Tsukalos. In ancient India, we have the Naga, half man and half snake. It was said to be created by the god Vishnu or Krishna. And who were these gods? According to the ancient alien theory, they were actually genetic creations of extraterrestrials. Coppins. The Shetty are a group found in Hopi tradition. They are very reptilian in nature because they are said to live underground. When we compare this to UFO stories, we often hear that some of these beings prefer to live underground or in hidden bases. Nori. If you go back to biblical times, the description of Satan is somewhat reptilian. It is possible he was a reptilian, extraterrestrial, and people at the time understood him as something from the heavens. Martel. There are many reports in South America. Even in Asia, especially China, we see similar ideas of reptilian beings, where kings are represented with dragon symbols. So there must have been some kind of global influence from a reptilian source. Coppins. In ancient Chinese culture, there are 4 dragon kings who are seen as sea gods. It is said they had a crystal palace under the ocean. This may not be completely made up. These strange beings may have made contact with early Chinese people and became part of their stories. Martel. Not only did they have reptilian features, but they were also said to shapeshift, meaning they could change into another form, like a human. These ideas are hard to understand, but many stories over time describe reptilian beings with amazing abilities, including changing shape. Narrator. Some researchers also believe that reptilians may have fought early humans for control of Earth. This could have nearly wiped out these hybrid beings and forced the survivors to go underground. Martel. It is clear that ancient humans were seeing something. Whether it was extraterrestrials visiting Earth or beings living underground, we do not know. But there are clear signs of advanced reptilian humanoid beings that influenced our cultures. Cawing. Narrator. This beautiful town in Transylvania is the birthplace of Vlad Tepes, also known as Vlad the Impaler, or Dracula. This famous Romanian prince was known for drinking the blood of his enemies and inspired the title of Bram Stoker's 1897 novel, Dracula. In 2014, a tourist visiting a local church found a very strange painting and sent a photo of it to a UFO research group in Israel. Henry. In the hometown of Vlad, the Impaler, where the story of Dracula comes from, we find the Church of the Dominican Monastery. Inside this church, there is a 700-year-old painting that clearly shows what looks like a circular craft, a UFO, hovering over a building believed to be the church. Fenton? We see a very strange, jelly-shaped saucer hovering over the home, connected to the famous figure who inspired the idea of Dracula. So, is there a connection between the vampire story and extraterrestrials? Narrator: is it possible that a 700-year-old painting in a Transylvanian church shows a link between vampires and aliens? Could stories of shape-shifting beings that turn from humans into bats, wolves, and other animals be based on real encounters? While Bram Stoker's Dracula is a fictional story, it is based on real history. Picknet. In the famous vampire story by Bram Stoker from the late 1800s, he researched Romanian traditions. These traditions are complex and even change from village to village. So, did vampires ever really exist in a paranormal sense? For a time, from the 1400s to the 1700s, in some parts of the world, people believed vampires were real. When we think of vampires today, we think of movies or stories. But for people in Eastern Europe, vampires were seen as a real and frightening supernatural threat. They believed vampires were shapeshifters who needed to drink blood from animals or humans to survive. Narrator: while modern ideas of vampires come from European stories, similar shape-shifting beings that drink blood have been described all over the ancient world, such as the Rakshasas in Indian texts. Shimkada. In Hindu texts, Rakshasas have the power to change shape. They are flesh-eating demons who enjoy eating meat. Fenton. Around the world, there are many stories of vampire-like beings. In Sumerian texts, there is the Akimu. In China, there is the Jiangshi. All these beings seem to have an interest in human blood. But is there a real explanation for this? Is there something that truly feeds on human blood? Narrator: could these terrifying beings be more than just myths? Some ancient astronaut theorists believe that old vampire stories are very similar to modern alien abduction stories. Bill Burns. When we study vampire stories, we see a pattern. First, there is a sighting. Then the person feels trapped or controlled, and the vampire draws them in. Alien abductions follow a similar pattern. People report being frozen by a light. Then a figure approaches them and takes them away. Pope. A key part of alien abductions is some kind of medical procedure. Some people say DNA is taken, while others say blood is removed. Often, the person cannot move during the experience. When we compare this to ancient texts and stories, we can see connections between vampires, UFOs, and abductions. Childress. There is a strong connection between vampires and extraterrestrials. Is it possible that extraterrestrials need human blood?